Today we're going to talk about subterranean termite swarming, a phenomenon that many homeowners and business owners will see every spring. My name is Brian Delaney. I'm the president of ProTech Pest Control of Virginia and a certified entomologist under the Associate Certified Entomology Program at ESA, or Entomological Society of America. Subterranean termites are a social insect that have a great economic importance on homes and businesses here in the Mid-Atlantic. And as a social insect, they do have a reproductive cycle that includes alates, or swarmers. What happens is that immature termites develop over the winter and form wing buds. In the spring, those wing termites develop and their bodies harden, and they emerge as kings and queens to mate and form new colonies. There is another process where termite colonies expand, and this is through a process called budding. If the termite queen dies, or if a portion of the colony becomes isolated, termites have the ability to inject an enzyme into a worker termite so that termite will become a secondary reproductive or a drone and capable of producing eggs to maintain that colony. Normally, swarmers emerge in the warmer months, in the spring, early spring, and after a rain. Termites have an internal instinct that they know when's a good time to emerge for the health and the productivity of the alates that come out. And generally we find that it's at 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock during the day and the day after a rain. They generally like it warm too, generally in the 70s. The swarmers themselves don't actually cause damage to the home. They don't have the ability to eat wood. Their job is simply to create new colonies. However, the existence of swarmers in your home is proof positive that the worker termites that do cause the damage are present. Termites have a caste system. There are, in the beginning, the queen lays the eggs, and they're all the same. From those eggs, the youngest nymph turns into an older nymph, and at that point, there are 3 different types of termites that can emerge. There's the worker, the soldier, or the reproductive nymph. The reproductive nymph becomes the alates, or the winged males and females that start the new colonies. And of course, when they start their new colonies, they begin from that point, and this whole cycle goes around again. The worker termites obviously are the ones that do the damage. They build the mud tunnels that they need to keep the colony within their work area, and the soldiers are there to protect them against predators such as ants or other things that might harm them. They do look a lot like ants. The difference is, and how you can tell, is that the subterranean termite alate, or the swarmer, has sort of a dark cigar-shaped body. The wings, there's 4 wings, and all of them are of equal size, and the antennae are straight. Whereas an ant, a reproductive ant, will have 4 wings, but of differing size. They'll have a very narrow waist, and generally they'll have an elbowed antenna. Sometimes, if you're not familiar looking at the difference, you might need some help to identify them. Of course, ProTech offers identification service at no charge. You can call, we'll come out and take a look and see what problem that you have. In addition to that, subterranean termites aren't very good flyers the way ants are. So you may find termites that are wingless, because as soon as they emerge and they fly as far as they can, then those wings snap off because they don't need them, and they mate. So you might find wings, just an accumulation of wings in a windowsill or say at a front door or something like that, and that means that you had a swarm, but those termites have wandered off some other place to start their colony. If you're not sure and you find some insects that you're not careful, capture them in a plastic bag, maybe a jar, old prescription bottle, something like that, so that we have them. If you want to treat with a spray, you could inhibit whatever treatment that may be coming later. Oftentimes we tell you if they're swarming and they're emerging into the house, if you can just stop the swarm, because it's really only a pest, those termite swarmers are not going to affect your home or your furniture. You can just put a tape over it or some other kind of a thing to keep them from emerging into the house where there's going to be a pest annoyance to you. It doesn't stop the termite infestation from occurring or continuing to occur, but it will stop the pest aspect of the swarm until you can get someone out there to address the problem. How professionals treat for termites. There's two basic ways. One is the traditional method that's been around for 7 decades that I know of, where a trench is dug around the outside foundation of the house. And hundreds of gallons of a material that's toxic to termites is poured or injected into this trench. In addition to that, wherever concrete abuts the foundation, which might be a front stoop, a garage, a patio, holes have to be drilled periodically through those areas as well, adjacent to the foundation, so that the chemical can be injected into those areas. Of course, all 3 sides of a garage are vulnerable because of the way our homes are built here in the Mid-Atlantic. In addition, the basement floor is vulnerable. So, if you have a finished basement, termite activity can occur behind those finished walls without you having any idea. The best protection using that traditional method is to lift whatever floor coverings that you have in the basement, whether it be carpet or tile or in the case of parquet or wood floors, we have to drill through them. And then inject the chemical under the floor periodically, just about every foot or so. And then patch or seal the best way we can. That's the traditional method. It's been around for a long, long time. The preferred method, at least for us anyway, is a much less invasive program called Centricon. Centricon has been around for 20 years. It's very, very effective. Centricon is what we use to protect the mansion at Mount Vernon. One of our colleagues protected the White House with Centricon, the Statue of Liberty, the Alamo, and so many other structures around the world are protected with Centricon because it's less invasive. And it would be safer for your environment as well as the technician. And how this works is stations are placed into the ground periodically, maybe every 10 feet or so, but into the soil. So there is no disruption to the foundation or the integrity of the house. And a bait is placed into that the termites can access. And the process is the termites take this bait back to the colony, and of course they feed each other through trophallaxis. The colony queens, the alates, and the soldiers don't have the ability to eat or damage wood. So the workers eat the bait that we put out for them. They take it back, and a toxic dose is given to all the termites in the colony. So as opposed to putting a barrier in, which is the traditional model, we actually eliminate the colony. Then once that colony is eliminated, we continue to monitor those stations on a regular basis. And if a new colony emerges or moves into the area, which often happens, then the bait system is there in place to remove them. Centricon costs about $1,000, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less for the average home. And it's a treatment that's installed for the lifetime. There is regular maintenance on it, but that's true of all termite treatments. The liquid treatment, as I described it, can cost much more. But you always have the option of doing half the house or a portion of it. We at ProTech prefer to have complete treatments, and that's why we use Centricon. It's very effective. As a matter of fact, there's very few homes that don't respond to Centricon treatment. As a matter of fact, I can't think of one where we've ever had a failure. There are other insects that cause damage to wood. And this is another part of our service, is that when we do our regular checks, we look for carpenter ants, which don't eat wood, but it's a large black ant that nests in wood, oftentimes unknown to the homeowner. There are old house borers, which is a beetle that in its larval stage, eats through dimension lumber in your house, say in the basement or the attic or behind the walls. Powder post beetle, which is a smaller version of an old house borer. And that's for the mid-Atlantic. That's just about it. There are some other insects that are of lesser concern, but that our technicians are trained to look at. Please, if you have any questions about termites or any other pest control problem, give us a call. We're at 703-440-8000 or at www.protectpest.com. And thank you.